Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are here at beautiful Clash Endurance Miami with the CEO of Clash Endurance. We are one day away from one of the most exciting races on the planet. Bill Christy, how you feeling?
You know, it's hard not to be excited.
Yeah.
This course is probably technically very unique. It's fast. It's technical on the bike because of the chicanes and the road course. The weather's beautiful, and it's going to be a hustle, and I couldn't be more excited.
You got athletes traveling here from all over the world. You've got ITU athletes. You got Olympians. You've got 70.3 champions. You got Ironman champions. This mix of athletes, sort of being able to put all this together in one pot, you like that?
I do. I love the 100K distance, the Daytona distance, mostly because there are components that are great equalizers, right? And we've talked about that before. Yeah. But when you're sitting there and you've got good technical bike handling skills, as many of the middle distance folks do, they then have to have a foot race with a lot of the ITU folks. So transitions and seconds matter, as we learned in Daytona, right? 21 seconds.
21 seconds.
Was a huge difference in transition. So love Miami. I know that everybody racing here from a pro standpoint loves Miami, and we're excited.
I remember last year when Jan Frodeno came in for the interview, and he thought, oh, this is going to be like Daytona, just put my head down, go around in circles, push a lot of power. And then he had just come off the bike riding the road course with all the turns and the accelerating out of the turns and bringing back his ITU days. He came, and Lionel as well, big smiles on their faces. Everybody today, they're all coming in and going, this is so cool. Every one of your races is so different. Daytona is just put your head down. Here it's you got to keep your head up. You got to know what the heck's going on. And Watkins Glen, totally different game as well because you got climbing going on there. And then Atlanta is going to be different because you'll have some off-road. Well, talk a little bit about what makes each one of these courses so special.
Miami, because it's fast.
Yeah. And a little shorter.
And a little shorter, but then you have to deal with the technical aspects of the road course.
Okay.
Right? So you get the speed, you get the power, but then you got to pay attention.
You do.
It's a fast foot race. The swim is gorgeous. It's crystal clear. It's a spring-fed lake.
It's a beautiful lake.
We've got this race, 3 preems going on. Excuse me, 4 preems going on.
Preems.
And I would like to define the discussions of the commentators, U.S. versus non-commentators. Okay. Spelled prime, pronounced preem.
Yes.
Also known as bonuses. So we're trying to get everybody thinking on the same page. So there will be a swim preem, first lap fastest.
Yep.
There'll be a T1 preem.
Okay.
The Wahoo T1 preem, the Aquasphere swim preem.
Right.
We go from there to the fastest bike split.
Oh, nice.
Right? 1 lap bike split. We then go from there back into T2.
Right.
And then it's a foot race, fastest first lap, and each of those hold $1,000. $1,000 for the men, $1,000 for the women. So we had some folks come out of nowhere last year.
Yes, you did.
God love Rach McBride. She lost by a second. And I remind her of that, Rach. Love you dearly every chance I get. But we had some really exciting moments coming out of those. And we did it. We said, we've got to do more of this.
Right.
So Miami is fast but technical.
Yep.
Daytona is just fast. We know it's the fastest course in the world. Watkins Glen is a different animal. The elevation changes, the climbs, the vertical 6%, 8% in certain aspects on Jack Daniels Hill. The run, probably the coolest thing about that is rolling through the vineyards.
Yeah. If
you're an age grouper.
Yeah.
In a beautiful, beautiful part of the Finger Lake region, which is, my view, some of the prettiest place that exists in the United States. But most exciting, you finish into about 20 to 30,000 people. The finish line is in the middle of one of the largest wine festivals in the country. So
that's always the best thing. When you can put a race on where there's already a crowd, then they see triathlon for the first time, and next thing you know, they're signing up.
And there's not a lot of difference between our demographics.
None.
And there's going to be a Porsche club race going on as well. So
Right.
we'll be racing right next to the Porsche races, different side of the wall.
Exactly.
And so if you look at the demographics of those folks and the demographics of our folks, they're similar.
Yeah.
So we're excited to see what kind of crossover we get. So you come out of Watkins Glen, which is still very near and dear to my heart.
Right.
And you're on your way to Atlanta. So Road Atlanta is a road style course, right?
Yep.
Talk about vertical.
It's a lot of climbing.
Huge climbing, and right next door to it is the Fox Factory mountain bike course.
Right.
So it's going to be a combination of trail running, relays, cycling, run bike run, all the events you'd expect from us in a weekend. But yeah, we're excited, and then we're back to Daytona.
And TV has been a huge part of this. NASCAR TV is well, obviously the premium producer of content in the world. So your numbers coming out of Daytona,
Wow.
you were surprised, right?
Yeah, no, so close to 1 million sustained viewers. That means people sat in front of their televisions
Right.
and watched the entire race.
Well, and skiing was on beforehand, so people probably were not sitting in from skiing, so they came in on their own to watch triathlon.
The numbers were about 242,000 people were watching alpine skiing on NBC.
Yes.
So everybody who came into that 970,000 came in the difference to
Specifically.
watch that race.
And that's, I bet you the people at the networks were surprised because they don't think, in the past, triathlon has always been, you pay for television time. You pay for television time, maybe a little barter here and there, but they never pay. Or they haven't.
This is true.
That was the history, right?
This is true.
But your goal
This is true.
is to change that.
Yeah, I mean, so we don't pay for TV time because our ratings are so high.
Yep.
We had over 2.4 million in and outs watching the race. We're in over 120 countries, 180 territories. The estimates are over 400 million homes. We're so excited about the Nielsen data. We were going to go to the international data,
Right.
and we thought we are bigger than NCAA college football
That's
on a
amazing.
regular season basis.
yeah.
So if you take the championships out, and I think the only game that beat us was Oklahoma, Texas. So our viewership was higher than the number 3 property. So it's the NFL,
Right.
it's our friends at the NBA,
Yep.
and it's
And
college football,
Yeah.
and us.
That is unbelievable.
We're on our way.
So when you first came up with this concept, and you and I chatted, right? It's like this is a playground. These are playgrounds. Nobody's getting hit by cars. You don't have to block off a road. You can do something. You can do middle of the night. You can do a 5K. You can do a 10K. You can do a relay type of event. All of that is in the works, right? That's all stuff that you're looking at for future years.
So we will debut much of that in Atlanta.
Okay.
But you're going to see probably the most exciting things that we're going to do broadly in Daytona. So
Okay.
a combination of the two, you're going to see a lot of things, to your point.
For next Daytona.
Yeah.
Well, that's where things start. That's where you had the PTO championship, and that's where everything was born.
It is.
And
It
staying-
is.
staying
The
on
nature
track.
of the race, the 100K.
Right.
The argument with the pros on what the distances were going to be. Yeah, that was the birthplace.
When I was talking to Andrew Starkowitz yesterday, he said, you know what? Over the years, you've had pros talking to race directors, talking to cities, and nobody ever agrees, and nobody ever listens to each other. It's like, that's great that pros, you have this idea, but we're still going to do it our way. He said, he goes, in his career, the first time where they were speaking to you, and you were like, okay, let's do it.
Work it out.
Let's work. You guys figure it out. You guys, pros, work together and figure out the distances, and we'll do it all on the track. Because of the pouring rain, you couldn't get on the roads. We're going to stay all here, and the circumstances were not what you wanted.
No.
You didn't want the pouring rain, but out of that came magic.
Absolute magic with the 100K and the Daytona distance.
Yeah, and all on the track.
All on the track. And that was Dylan McNeese. Dylan walked up after Sarah Haskins, Alicia Kay, Meredith Kessler walked up and said, we're not racing in that.
Right.
And I said, we're not those other people. We have a weather person watching 6 Dopplers.
Right.
We know exactly when it's going to clear up. And the next question was probably my favorite, and that was, well, the track's going to be wet. And Starkey says, it's NASCAR. They're deciding to get dry fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And we put them in the water, and it turned into a glorious day. And, that was the birth.
Well, and the other side that I think that you have going for you is a lot of races. You're going through a canyon, you're going somewhere, there's no television, you can't get any uplink, there's nothing. You got every piece of technology that is on in the world here at all of these tracks, so that you'll never lose connectivity. When people are riding around, just like with a NASCAR race car, you'll know their name, their sponsor, their speed, their power, all that. That's what the plan is.
And I think two things that we did this year that I'm really excited about, so we're going to spill the beans. And the other is we put timing chips on the pros so they can figure out what their splits are. Mm-hmm. They can see it on a big board.
Right.
And there's no place to hide. We were joking about it, and we were talking about a couple of the pros that may not like coming here because they like to get in a place and hide. There's no place to hide.
There's no hiding now.
And so the big sign, the big jumbo on the backside gives them that information. The thing that I'm the most excited for graphically this year is we've always had the leaderboard. You've seen it, right? Yeah. And when there's a change, they bold and they change. So if somebody passes somebody,
right, they move up.
They move up.
Down, yeah.
What I asked NASCAR Productions for this year, as we continue to try and push the branding with the pros, I want to see who you are. I want to see your face. As they flip, their pictures will shoot out the side with their names.
Right.
So the folks at SMT did a great job with NASCAR Productions folks. That continues to go on to what we always set out to do, which is we want you to think, act, feel like NASCAR drivers.
Right.
People need to know who you are.
I know you have invested a lot in taking the pros and trying to get them to understand that, hey, we are here to serve you. We are here to make you stars. We are here to use our NASCAR connections to teach you how to be like a NASCAR driver and be a professional. At the same time, the push and pull is you've got the age groupers, right? And you want the age groupers to come here and feel that they're the stars. And you've got, the 4 events. How do you do that? I know at Watkins Glen, we have that's going to be the Tri-Club National Championship.
Well, yeah, it sure is. Yep.
So talk a little bit about the age group side of this, because that's obviously, you want both.
Frankly, they're more important to us than anything else.
Yeah.
We want them to walk away from each race saying, wow, what an experience. And to tell their friends, wow, what an experience.
Yeah.
And you can speak to it better than I can because you've interviewed them. It's the little things. They get real food after the race.
Yes.
They run down 1,000 feet of red carpet to the finish line.
Trophies.
Yeah. So, we've had
swag.
the trophies, the swag. Swim bags were my favorite. I talked to guys and gals into giving away swim bags because I still use one that I've had from years ago.
Yeah.
And they're needed, right? So I got it ready. So regardless of whether you're an age group sprint distance athlete or a middle distance athlete, you still get the swim bag.
Got it.
So we've got routine things that we're trying to give people that they're going to enjoy. So hot food, places to clean up, shower facilities, red carpeting under your feet so you don't get rocks on your feet while you're in transition and running from swim to transition. Right. The mouth and the opening of how big the load zone is.
Right.
All those things that I hated, we've addressed. And, the team, Andre Lepar and Philip LaHaye,
yep.
and, Alicia Kay and Doug Renaud, they get it. They understand it. And so those are the things that we want for the age group athletes. And we think it's absolutely critical that they walk away saying, wow, what an experience. So I just had an age grouper say, I was going to go race this race until I learned more about Watkins Glen. I canceled that race, and I'm going to the Glen.
Everybody I talked about Watkins Glen is and the pros especially, because especially the pros who like to climb and like to bike handle, because that's unique. A lot of races are cookie cutter, and every one of your races is so different, which is very cool.
That's part of the experience with the venues, right? We had transition training in Daytona. We had for anybody who wanted to come.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jared Schumacher was there. We did educational videos for exiting your wetsuit. We're trying to give the age groupers stuff they're not going to get someplace else. Tips and tricks that I wish somebody taught me without racing 5 years and learning the hard way. So the family piece, I think you're going to see Andre Opar's got amazing ideas. You know, we did the jingle jog.
Yes, it was phenomenal.
Did you do the jingle jog?
I was there for the finish there with the snow coming down. And, what, 700 or 1,000?
So, yeah, we expected 600 and 850 showed up. So we
Yeah.
had to tell the team, nobody gets a medal or a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really, and that was a brand new event that you only created, what, a few weeks before?
A few weeks before.
I like that. And the goal, this is 4 events this year,
Yep.
right? What do you see for 2023?
You know, come on, you're killing me. You always ask this question.
And then
I call you back saying, you can't say
really
that,
okay.
right?
So just more. We'll just say there's more stuff coming, more fun stuff.
More endurance and more swim, bike, run.
Right, okay.
And if we can combine the two,
Yeah.
we will do I mean, this is Daytona's 11 events through the weekend. This is not far from being that. If we can combine some endurance activity with some swim, bike, run stuff, Watkins Glen is going to have a long course swim in and of itself.
Good.
It's going to be one of the events.
Yeah.
So you're better ready to swim in its gorgeous water. So we'll continue to look for and push those envelopes. Andre is such a thinker when it comes to I think it's because he's a big kid.
Right. Yeah. He wants to do more stuff.
But he wants to, and his ideas are spectacular. So we're going to execute.
I love it. And the other thing that makes, I think, these events unique, and we did a little video on it last year, is the whole idea of the RV lot, the motorhomes. Just, you went from Daytona over a couple of years. Did you have, what, 200 this year?
No, it wasn't quite 200. I know we filled up the DO
Yeah.
lot, and I know we had to extend to the other
Yeah.
lot. I don't know what the final number was, but we went from like 3 to 16 to 20, and the driver's owner's lot was totally full. We had kids in the playground in the DO lot
Yeah.
with their parents. The jingle jog, we had parents pushing their kids through the stroller because it was all the lights for Christmas and the holiday. But yeah, no, the camping component, I'm a believer in it.
Absolutely.
It's
And
just
that's NASCAR.
yeah, it's
a big part of NASCAR.
Right. It's the pre-party, it's the after-party. As we do the endurance races with the middle of the night stuff,
Yes.
they're going to become more important.
Absolutely.
But yeah, in my opinion, stay in a hotel, pay relatively speaking the same amount of money as renting a camper.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
And
You're feet away from the swim start.
Well, and everybody I've talked to, it just loves it. They come with a friend, and then the following year they rent their own. And I was talking to somebody yesterday who said, yeah, they just delivered it. Right?
Right.
I just showed up, and there it was, and
Handed
all
you
set
the
up,
keys.
Handed you the keys. It was like the fireplace, and it was just amazing. So, congrats, Bill.
Oh, hey, you know what?
We enjoy coming every one. I think, God, I've been.
You have not missed a one.
It's been pretty fun.
It has been a great ride.
Congratulations.
You know what? To the team.
Yeah, your
not
team's
me.
doing, no, yeah, well.
They're killing it.
Yeah, there's always somebody who has a vision, and vision is really, really important. And your vision is, I think, going to change. It is. It's changing the sport. We talked about it. Sam Long was living in his parents' floor, right? He's living in a basement, and now, as I'm interviewing him, he's got like 10 sponsors on his chest, right?
He does.
And I'm like asking him for a loan. It's cool. These athletes are finally realizing, hey, I'm a professional athlete. I can make a living here, and I can have someone from NASCAR helping me.
We had
present myself better.
We had media training this morning.
Yeah.
Rick Allen got up and said, listen, somebody asked you questions, you've got 3 answers.
Right.
Love being here. Thank you to my sponsors. And, I wish I had done this better or that better. I'm really happy with what happened.
How it turned out. Yeah.
Simple,
It is
clean.
simple. Show your personality. Yeah.
Right. Smile to the camera. I said to everybody this morning, don't make me scream at you to say take your goggles off so when your introductions we can see your face. We want to see your face.
Wow, yeah.
But yeah, I think that component, and that's not new. You know where we got that, right? I mean, but I think that at the end of the day, the most exciting component is the age groupers being able to watch the pros, interact with the pros, meet the pros, which has been a real joy to watch.
Yeah. It's a home
It's
run.
yeah, and I think the other part of that is that as that continues to happen, it will build and build and build, and then we are going to see motor coaches when people see how much fun the doggone things are. So yeah, it's Bob. Thank you for being here. We
love it.
appreciate you being here. You're racing,
I'm racing.
right?
Yes.
You're racing.
Yes, I am.
You are a podium finisher last year. I handed you an award here
You did.
in Miami.
I think I was the only guy in the 70 to 50 category.
Not
So-
true. Not true. Not true. But we will be on Fox on the 17th.
Okay.
7 p.m.
And
we'll be the
live
first showing.
coverage tomorrow too, right?
Live stream on Facebook.
Okay.
So you can watch the whole thing free on the live stream. Comment, participate. And the same commentary group is in the booth.
Right.
We were joking this morning about how much fun we have during that whole process. And if people saw what happened in those production booths, you've seen it. It's comical, but putting on a live event is real. So
a lot of touch points.
A lot of touch points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey, thank you, buddy.
no, appreciate you as always.
Bill Christy, CEO of Challenge Endurance and Challenge Endurance Miami, is tomorrow, 1:45 Eastern Time. Are we starting?
We kick earlier than that with the ladies go on the water first and finish first, and then the men after them.
Love it. Cool. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'm Bob Babbitt here, Breakfast with Bob from Clash Endurance Miami. Catch you later.